Hello. Hi, everybody. It's MK. Big exhale. Big exhale. I've been so expectant of this time tonight together. I've been so humbled about this experience so far. I have been so anxiously awaiting this time with all of you. So thank you. Let me just start with that. Thank you. I have gotten all your texts. I have seen all of your messages. I have listened to all your voicemails. I have been on phone calls with so many of you. I am so incredibly grateful. I'm so incredibly humbled and just so excited for this next chapter of my life. Like, so incredibly excited. And what I think I'm most excited about is that I am already feeling like so many of you are feeling it, are feeling what it is that I'm hoping to create, are feeling this movement, are embracing this movement, and you're already sharing stories with me, and you're already embracing this as your own. And that is something that I have so much gratitude for. So without further ado, I'm going to get right into it because I think it's just super important to give a little context around where Then, There, Now even came from, where it's been brewing in my heart, in my mind, and in so many ways. And I'm sorry, this is going to be messy, guys. This is so not planned. I have no script. I do have notes. I will share that. I do have notes, but this is not about perfection. This is going to be messy. This is going to get muddy. I may cry. I don't even know. But I really do want to share with you my heart tonight. If you know me at all, you know that everything I do is from a heart space. Everything I do is for service. Everything I do is to glorify God. He goes before me. He goes after me. I just listen to that inner voice and I am obedient to it. And sometimes that inner voice, you want to ignore it. You want to push it away. You want to say, not now, maybe later. And then God keeps coming, and sometimes louder and harder until you can no longer ignore it. So I just want to say that the reason why this is going to be so messy, and let's just get honest, like right off the bat, this next chapter is starting with one of the most messy decisions God has asked me to make, and that is retiring from Lime Life. This is a decision that was anything but easy, excruciating, many tears, many snotty tissues, many, why are you asking this of me, God? Because I love what I did. I loved the honor, the distinction of being the very first beauty guide with what I consider to be one of the best beauty brands in the world. I loved my team. I loved my friends. I loved the magic that we all made. And what I learned that I actually loved the most is not the makeup, is not the skincare, is not the commission check, is not the titles and the accomplishments. But what I loved the most was meeting a beauty guide and looking her in the eye and in some small way reminding her of who she was, reminding her of something that she may have forgotten about herself. And that's what I became so addicted to, so in love with. And it was the vision and mission of our co-founders of Lime Life from the very beginning. How do we help women know their worth? How do we help women see the gold, brush off the dust, get through the fear gates, cut through the BS, and expose the gold? How do we do that? And that was the cornerstone. That was the mission of Lime Life by Alcone. Lime Light and then Lime Life. That was the mission of our co-founders. And it was deeper than that. It wasn't just how do we help women know their worth? Because you can do that in a moment. You can do that in a moment. You can sit a woman in a room and tell her that you believe in her, and you can tell her all the amazing characteristics about her, and you can tell her that there isn't anything she can't do, and you can tell her that if I can do it, you can too, and you can cheerlead her, and you can rah-rah her, and you can just build her up. The problem became when she would leave our community and go back to her life, whatever that might be. And in some way, shape, or form, she would forget who she was again. She would forget that she was enough. And whatever that might have been, her home environment, what society might have told her, what her role in her other career might have been, whatever that might have been, the world was then showing her something that took her out of that game, took her out of that feeling of there isn't anything I can't do. And I was so in love with looking a woman in the eye and heart to heart. You know, I can tell you story after story of just grabbing a woman by the face and saying, I see you. I see your light. The greatness in me sees the greatness in you. And that's what I loved. That's what I loved about what we were building. And we did that. We did that really successfully for me for nearly 14 years. But as anything in life, things change. Businesses change. People change. Leadership changes. Missions change. Management changes. A lot of things change. And I found myself in a place where I wasn't feeling as aligned. Not good, bad, right, or wrong. Just what happens in life. And I believe that God's timing is always so perfect, because he started to put that feeling on my heart about almost 2 years ago, about a year and a half ago, where he started to have me asking myself the question, if you keep telling women to bet on themselves, if you keep telling women to double down on themselves, if you keep telling women that there isn't anything they can do, and be courageous, well, Mary Kay, why aren't you doing it yourself? Why are you taking the easy road? I don't think I need to tell any of you that I left behind a very significant paycheck. I took a leap. I took a leap. And the leap I took was courage. And I believe that what I want to do in this next chapter of my life is to show women that we can show women how to be confident. We can show them their worth. We can show them they're enough. We can show them they're pretty, they're beautiful, they're smart, they're strategic. There isn't anything they can't do. But how do we teach them to be courageous? How do we teach them to ask the tough questions, to look at life in a way where they truly trust it? Because let me tell you, when you trust it and you understand that the path is actually easy when you're aligned, we're going to get somewhere in this world. We're going to get somewhere. And I'm on a mission for that. So let me tell you about Then, There, Now. This has been something that has been really in my heart space for quite some time. It's rooted in the legacy of my father, who passed in 2002 when I was 28 years old. My dad had a challenging life. He dealt with a lot of mental health issues. He had clinical depression, which if any of you were raised in the 80s, you understand that that was something not a lot of people talked about. It was not mainstream. It was not something that was understood in the way that it is today. And as a young girl growing up, it was confusing to me. I knew that my dad wasn't well, but I didn't quite understand why. And my little girl self was like, but how can I make my dad happy? And there was a part of me that really felt a lot of responsibility in his mental health journey because I couldn't understand how I couldn't make my dad happy. And I missed out on a relationship with him in my early formative years. Thank God, in my late teens, early 20s, my dad got well and I started to have a relationship with him. And one of the things that I believe was such a gift to my dad through his mental health wellness journey was that in his wellness from depression, he learned so many incredible, valuable life lessons. He learned what it meant to not sweat the small stuff. He learned what it meant to be grateful. He learned what it meant to know that you have everything you need and that your health is wealth. He knew what it meant to love and see beauty in everything. And I'm so grateful that I got so much of his wisdom later on in my life. And I often grieve the wisdom that maybe I could have gotten in my earlier years. My older brother tells me stories. He's 5 years older than me, and he had my dad when he was younger, and he tells me all of the wisdom. My dad was one of the smartest mans I've ever met in my life, but he was also a simple man. And he was a risk taker. And he was always on the cusp of true success. Like, he started his own security business called Duffy Security, and he had really big clients like CBS, right? Like the big broadcasting company, and he was doing all the security in the New York City offices of CBS. And then he had his first heart attack. And then he was an amazing, like, head of the police department. He was literally the deputy police commissioner of all of Suffolk County, Long Island. And then he had his first episode with depression. And he was always on the cusp of success. And I remember when I would go to him with some of my difficult moments, whether that be a heartbreak or failing a test or worrying about a friendship or worrying about what I was going to do with the rest of my life when I graduated college. He would have 4 simple words. And he would say, "Baby, well then, there now." And in those 4 words, when he would say them to me, I would immediately feel a sense of calm. I would feel grounded in that moment because the way he said it, the way he spoke it would be like, just like almost like an exhale. And his next words would be, "Well, isn't it beautiful that you have something that needs you to make a choice?" Wow. Wow. Isn't it beautiful that you have something that you now get to make a choice. You're worried about that test? Let's talk about that test. What makes you worried about that test, baby? He always called me baby. Well, I don't know if I know the material. Okay. Well, then there now. Let's do a little more studying. Let's look it over a little more. Let's talk about what it takes in a multiple choice test, and 50% of the answers you can most likely delete right away because you know they're not the right answer. And then you got a 50-50 shot on the other two. I mean, he had this way of like, well, then there now. Took it down to let's look at this in a sequence. Let's not get life to overwhelm us. Let's remember how grateful we are that we have a stressful moment on a test, or that we have a situation with a boy that's not calling us back, or that we have a girlfriend that betrayed us and is telling lies about us that are not true. Well, then there now. Let's talk about this. And my dad never actually told me exactly what those words meant, but I can share with you guys that he said it often, and sometimes it wasn't just to calm my central nervous system. A lot of times it was like him reclining in his big leather chair and just exhaling, well, then there now. And he would lean back, and it was as if he was looking around his home and saying, thank you. Thank you. I'm alive. I'm in my home. I've got my family. Well, then there now. God is good. God is good. And as I'm now a 52, almost 53-year-old woman, I really, over the past short amount of time, I've really been thinking about those 4 words as I've been going through my own struggle of what's next, Lord. I'm not aligned. I need to figure this out. I know I'm meant for more, but what's next? Could I take the comfortable route and stay where I am? 100%. But if I'm a woman that sits and coaches tens of thousands of women over the past 14 years, telling them to do it scared, telling them to have courage, telling them to go and jump off that cliff, telling them to double down on themselves, telling them that you're made for more, I better turn that mirror on me. Change is hard. But change is beautiful. And then there now was really built off of my dad and his legacy, and me feeling this incredible connection to him at this point in my life, truly healing my relationship with him, so that I take a pause, so that I slow down, so that I look at then my story, my trials and tribulations, my heartbreaks, my wishes, my childhood, the circumstances that happened to me that might have told me who I am in this world. And maybe I am those things, but I'm also all these other things, right? I'm also this messy, muddy middle that I need to embrace. And what happens when I do that? What happens when I embrace the muddy middle? What happens when I get dirty? What happens when I ask the tougher questions, which is the there part of my company? There is a moment to take a pause, is a moment to reflect, is a moment to ask, how are my wounds my wisdom? How do I take what has happened to me and turn it into, how is it helping me? That's awareness. That's a moment of, I'm all of these things. I don't need to be in a box. I don't need to be what people think I am. If the identity of being the first beauty guide with Lime Life has come to an end, that was such a beautiful chapter. It's okay. There's more to me. There's more to me. There is a moment of embracing all of it, not making it right, wrong, good, bad, not making it any of those things. I am on a mission for women to eradicate shame. Can we please stop having shame for things that might have happened in our lives? I'm a woman of divorce. I have shame around that divorce. I'm a woman of many heartbreaks. I'm a woman who has made a lot of mistakes. I'm messy. I think sometimes people think of me as this beauty guru who has it all together and always has her hair flipped and clothes and Louis Vuitton bags. And yeah, you know what, guys? That is a big part of me. I love that part of me. But I'm also the girl that wants to be in sweatpants, milking a cow with a trucker hat on. And I can promise you that. And I don't know if a lot of people know that part of me, but I absolutely am that woman who, no makeup, sweatsuit, trucker hat, eating French toast sticks. Joy, pure joy. And guess what? I get to be all of those things. I get to be all of those things. I get to write with all of the colors of the pen. And I get to say, yeah, I made those mistakes, but I am now here because of them. Then, there, now. What happens when women have the courage to say, I'm meant for more? And what does it look like when you look at the then and you go back to that inner child who had all of the answers, all of them? That inner child knew exactly why they came to this planet. That inner child knew exactly who he or she was made of, knew exactly the purpose, the unique purpose. And I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that the little MK, the 4-year-old girl, was playing in the mud. She was playing in the mud. The one who's always prim and proper, she was playing in the mud. And she loved it. And darn if I don't still smell the mud and feel the texture of the mud and know what it looked like to make my mud pies at 4 years old, sitting right there with the proper ratio of water and dirt and water and dirt and water and dirt to get the exact perfect mud, until somebody came and needed me to get clean and told me, no, this isn't where you're supposed to be. But I was intuitive in that mud. I was creative in that mud. And somewhere along the line, my 4-year-old self was told, that's dirty. You can't be in the mud. You got to go over here and look pretty because people need to see you look a certain way. And there's got to be a certain persona. And so the world started to tell me who I needed to be. So now is a moment of remembering who you have always been. And let me share something with each and every one of you. There is an inner voice in you, and so many of you are ignoring it. There is an inner voice that is that little girl who's saying, I'm here. I'm here. See me. I know the way in the mothership. Get out of the dinghy. Get out of the dinghy. Get in the mothership. Whatever that inner voice is to you, whether it's your soul, whether it's your intuition, whether it's God, whether it's your higher power, it knows. And every single one of you have it. Every single one of you have it. And my inner voice was saying, it's time. It's time for you to birth this movement. Because here's the thing, guys. Well, then, there, now was my dad's 4 words. But then, there, now is ours. It's ours. You guys are already sharing with me your stories. I am so incredibly humbled by this. You are already sharing your then, there, now stories. You're already sharing with me things like, I have my 3-year-old self as my screensaver picture because I need to remember who I was before the world told me differently. It's time. It's time for women to have another level of awakening. It's time for sisterhood and success to coexist. It is time for women to champion other women. There is room for us all to win. There is room for us all to have every success we want. There is room for all of us to have all the zeros in our bank account that we want. There is room for all of us to live the dream life that is in our mind's eye and that our inner voice is screaming at us. And I am done with women putting each other down. I am done with women talking behind each other's backs. I am done with women saying that if you're not with me, you're against me. Game on. You know what? Fuck off. I'm sorry. I said it. I dropped the bomb. This is not okay with me. We are the answer for the future. And I say this with the most humble and loving of hearts. Us women need to get into our feminine. Because when we do, when we embrace the inner child, when we embrace all of it, the dirty, muddy, whatever we considered shameful, we actually make a really incredible impact on this world. And so I am inviting you. This is not about me. My father's legacy, I'm bringing forward as an age for me. This is not a chapter. This is not an era. This is an age. And although I didn't know exactly what my dad meant when he was saying, well, then, there, now, all those times, he may have had a totally different definition. I have the distinct gift to look at it through my lens and my perspective and bring it forward in a way that I think would make my dad very proud. So I don't know exactly all the answers. I am a then, there, now woman, just like all of you. I am returning to who I am. I am going through this right alongside you all. I see this company. I don't even know if it's a company. I think it's a community. I think God is asking me to build a community. But I see it as like an octopus, like with a lot of tentacles. And God has shown me a lot of open doors that are really bright. But I don't necessarily have the clarity onto which door I'm supposed to go down. And I think that's intentional. I think that's actually perfectly messy, if you will. Because I think this is going to take on so many tentacles, so many paths. And I invite you to join me in this. I invite you to be a then, there, now woman. Share with me your stories. Share this video. I want to bring those women out that want more, that are called for more. Because the only way you're going to be free is if you embrace yourself wholly and fully. All of it. all of it. Because I promise you, ladies, we are the beginning of life. We have the womb. We bring life into this world. We are far more powerful than we ever give ourselves credit for. And the fact that we shame ourselves and talk about our bodies or our weight or we're not pretty enough or thin enough, let's be honest, ladies, we're going to live in 100 different bodies in our lifetime. We give birth, we gain weight. We have the baby, we lose weight. We go through menopause, we gain weight. We stop eating the cake, we lose weight. Okay, we're going to be in 100 different bodies in our lives. It is time to embrace all of them and love all of them, because you are perfect and you are 100% enough. And when you choose you, you will not care about being chosen. So it is time for us to choose us, so that when somebody chooses us, we damn well know who the heck we are. And that is the essence of Then, There, Now. I want to call out these women. I want you to share your stories with me. I want you to get in the mud. The only way we can get clean is if we get dirty. So let's get in the mud. Let's have conversations. I want you in my inbox. I want to talk to you. I don't know yet where this is all going to go, but God is showing me the path. And what I want to leave you with tonight, if I may, if you will allow me, when you listen to that inner voice and you make difficult choices and you have courage, God will be right there to show you the path. That inner voice is not lying to you. Those dreams that you think about, they're meant for you. It is time for you to go and get it. And here's the other thing that I know. You're going to have to lose things you love. Might be people, might be a business, might be stuff, might be habits. But when you do, the blessings on the other side, because you chose you. Well, then, there now. So I just really want to end this with, I actually want to read you guys a couple of messages that I've been receiving over the past 2 weeks. And again, I am so grateful for all these women that are sharing with me, that are talking to me, that are having these difficult conversations, that are saying thank you. Because it's just important. This is so important. I don't know why God has called me to do this. And darn if I don't know that my dad is walking right alongside me. I feel him every step of the way. But this is for us. This is not my story to tell, although I will be sharing my stories. This is our movement, ladies. This is a time for us to all champion each other. And really stand united in a collaborative, not competitive way. And that is something that Lime Life has given me. We built magic at Lime Life. And the reason why we built magic is because we cared about each other. Because we led with heart. We didn't know what we were doing. So many people can share that, can validate that. But we did have heart, and we had women at the center of it. and our founders were really very, very, very strong on female empowerment. And not just empowerment, because let me be real honest with you guys, I can't empower anybody. You can only empower yourself. I can inspire, I can be an example, I can motivate, but you have to empower yourself. And this company taught me that when you lead with love, there's an impact. I had story after story of beauty guides that I have been so honored to get to know over the years and to speak with personally, sharing with me their stories, their traumas, their circumstances. Lime Life was a safe place for them to unlock greatness. And I want to continue that. I want to continue that safe space where there is magic. And I believe in women so much. We are so special. And when we remember who we are, we become unstoppable. We become unstoppable. So I just want to read a couple of these and then I'm going to let you guys go. I know I've been talking a long time, but the first message that I received, it says, "This brought me tears of joy and recognition." Okay, so right away, recognition. How many of us are not feeling recognized, are not feeling seen, are not feeling heard? Together, we can be that for each other. I am forever grateful to get to witness your powerful journey unfolding ahead. People see my gentle strength and fearless intuitive guidance, but they don't see the inner child who endured such pain and carried the weight of the world all alone while still choosing to see the light in everyone I met. I believe this is why we find our way back to our kindred spirits and beautiful souls who are able to reflect our authentic inner truth back to us. We're all walking each other home after all. We're all walking each other home after all. Another person sent me a message that says, "My screensaver is a picture of me from when I was 3 to remind me of who I was before all the heartache of life got in the way. I am on a journey of returning and remembering myself." Whew. Another one. "Good morning, Mary Kay. Thank you so much for taking the time to respond. Reading your message gave me chills. Everything you shared feels so close to my soul. It resonates with what I've been feeling for quite some time. I'm honestly holding my breath to see what you're creating next, and I truly hope that one day I might have the opportunity to be a part of that movement. I believe we all make an impact in one way or another, but I also believe that we are so much stronger when we do it together. The world needs more people who are willing to wake up, remember who they truly are, and help others do the same. Thank you for having the courage to leap, especially knowing everything you are leaving behind. That takes incredible faith, and I have so much respect for you. I wish you nothing less than success, and not just financially, because I know you will come, that will come, but the deeper kind of success we've both been searching for, the kind that can't be measured, only felt by the heart. I have a feeling you're exactly where you're meant to be, and I'm excited to watch this journey unfold. Sending you love, gratitude, and my heartfelt wishes for you and your family. You guys are already bringing this movement to life. You're already showing me how much you're embracing this. You're already showing me how much it is time for, as this beautiful writer says, wake up. And how much doing it together in a safe place, which Lyme Life was that safe place when I was finding myself 14 years ago. Well, I shouldn't say finding, beginning to find myself. I am still on that journey. I'm not sure where Lyme Life ends and Mary Kay begins. I'm excited to meet her. I'm so excited to meet her. And I know that I have a slew of angels holding my hands, guiding my steps, and sending me exactly who I'm meant to serve. So that's my invitation. Who am I meant to serve? That is my prayer to God every day. That is my wish, that I have a life of significance, not of titles, not of paychecks. I left an extremely significant, successful job. Most people would never do that. I need you to feel my heart when I tell you that this is a calling. And it is absolutely my greatest sense of gratitude that I get to walk this walk. And I don't know exactly what it looks like. And that's even more exciting. Maybe there's retreats. Maybe there's Well Then There Now podcasts. Maybe there's books and movies and products and I don't know. But what I can promise you, from the founder and CEO of Then There Now, is that I will stay focused. I will stay focused. I will stay guided. I will trust the process. And I hope that this becomes a movement so big that the world doesn't know what it did without it. Because when women rise up together, magic. You are the magic. The magic is within you. You've always known it. It is time to return to you. So I hope I hear from many of you. I hope you will hop in my inbox. I hope we can have conversations. I plan to do YouTube style podcasts and invite people on to share with me. I plan to 100% do retreats. There's so much excitement. There's so much to come. So many of you reached out saying, how do I help? People are reaching out saying, I want to work with you. And that makes me so excited for everything that we're going to build because it's going to be big. It's going to be big. God has already shown me in the 3 weeks since I made the courageous decision to take the leap that I made the absolute right decision and that I am absolutely where I'm meant to be and that He is calling me to this. So I can't wait to have more moments of heart to heart and eyes to eyes and moments of saying, I get it. I see you. You got this. Be courageous. And know that when you jump, there is a kite that has a string waiting for you to grab onto it. So, let's rise together, ladies. I cannot wait to hear from some of you. I cannot wait to go on this journey. Please just keep watching. Just keep watching, supporting, whatever it is. Share it with me. I've got big plans. I've got really big plans, and I've got a lot of things in the works. And one thing that I shared with a friend today, and I'll just leave you with this. I shared with a friend today that I know what it is like when a woman has money in her pocket. I know that that is the core of female empowerment, is financial empowerment. When a woman has money, she has a choice. She doesn't have to say yes to anything she doesn't want to because she has control. And I want that for every woman because I saw that at Lime Life. I saw what it did for a woman when she felt that financial freedom. And it is my goal to make everyone I love a millionaire. I'm just going to say it. It's my goal. I'm not in this to make a lot of money. I want to make everyone I know a millionaire because you all deserve it, number one. But number two, it's powerful when women have money because they spend money differently. And the world is a better place when women have money. And so it is my absolute passion, purpose, and goal to make everyone I love, know, and see a millionaire. And I will share this. While I'm building Then There Now, if I find something that I think could be a vehicle to help women make money, you can be darn sure I'm going to share it with people. You can be darn sure that there's going to be things that I will absolutely stand behind and say, this is something that can help you have financial empowerment. And I will stand behind that 100%. So, let's go, ladies. Let's do this. I don't know where this path exactly leads, but I'm going anyway. And if you know anything about me, I don't give up. I don't give up. There is some major hustle in this woman, and I've got grit for days, and I've got hustle for days. And I have an absolute no quit attitude. So you guys are stuck with me. This is God appointed, God anointed, and I'm obedient. So I love you all. Thank you guys so much for sticking this out with me. I wasn't expecting to go this long, but as Kel just wrote, giddy up. Giddy up is still my tagline. Yep, giddy up. 100%. I am hopping at that horse and I will never get off of it. I will never get off of it. And I'm just so in awe of God's calling to do this and my dad's legacy and the blessing of me getting to do this alongside my dad from a very heavenly place. And so I will say it again. My dad's will always be, well, then, there, now. But then, there, now is ours. So what is your then? What is your there? What do you need to learn? How are your wounds going to be your wisdom? And what do you get to do now? When you have the courage, when you embrace it all, when you know that there isn't anything you can't do, and that you are 100% enough. What does that look like? Giddy up. I hear my dad going, well, then, there now. Good night, everybody. So much love.